Misal Eskender, reflective presentation, professional aims. We set out to better ourselves professionally. This wasn't an everyday opportunity. I needed to make the most of it. My aim was to put on my portfolio so that future employers are impressed. Also to gain experience and enhance the skills that I already had. Internationally, I aim to meet people with different skill sets, assemble contacts, because I will gain more viewership on my work, or it might even lead me to other jobs. Circulation of my film, entering it to film festivals in hope of gaining recognition and critical acclaim. As a professional, I wanted to create awareness of a different way of life that the UK audience may not be familiar with. Carrying myself as a professional, it was exciting as we were based outside the university for the first time, meaning that I could take advantage of the roles. I was a cinematographer mainly and heavily contributed in building the idea. Professional skills and educational benefits. Working with another language and putting subtitles was extremely difficult because of the language barrier, but it was definitely an educational process. I had the basic skills of editing, but after this project, it forced me into self-study, a bit more like YouTube tutorials and how to do certain effects, especially using After Effects because I wasn't familiar with it before. I wanted to make intro titles before every person, and it was successful, but our group decided that a simple look would be better. But I'm grateful that I still went through this process, as now I've got the skills and I can introduce it into another project. Being on the ball and ready is important, as documentary is a very different environment to fiction films. Also, not cutting straight away, as we noticed subjects would say the most deep comments as soon as you stop rolling. This was annoying as it could have enhanced the film, and on the editor's point of view, it can be annoying because the camera operator cuts early, meaning that we have less to play with. So the moral is just shoot more than what you need. Scheduling your time is important. It doesn't matter that we were in a warm country. It was not a holiday, so waking up early was a must in order to get everything done within the 5 days. It was worth it because filming allowed us to be adventurous rather than being on a beach all day, not being productive. On the first day we arrived, the lens broke. We don't know the causes, but it was inside the luggage on the plane. This caused us to be extra cautious for the rest of the holiday because we couldn't afford another piece of equipment damaged. That obviously brought down our mood, but keeping positive was key and motivating each other with great teamwork to get the best possible outcome. We also forgot to bring a camera battery, meaning that we had to think quickly. So instead, we just recorded the sound and then filmed the visuals the next day. Fieldwork practices. Working abroad internationally is definitely a challenge. Something I'm not used to, but it was a learning experience. The culture had its similarities and its differences, but after talking to locals and doing our own research beforehand, we knew what was acceptable and what wasn't. For example, many Portuguese people find it rude if you try to communicate with them in Spanish because it's a disrespect to their identity. You're insulting them. Luckily, for us, in the main city of Lisbon, majority of people spoke English anyways, but we still picked up a few phrases like obrigado, which means thank you, just to help us get around and when we need to order food. We came across a problem After attempting to interview some of the important elderly members of the community of Al Fama, we had a huge language barrier. The older generation were less likely to know English, and we found them to be more reserved due to their society's cultures. This made it extremely difficult to make an authentic documentary, so we ended up not using it, even though it was probably the best shot. But things happen. However, I didn't leave empty-handed, as it gave me the skills of patience, understanding, because previously I may have gotten frustrated because our preparations weren't going to plan. But now, being a professional, I had to learn to stop that. Also, laws on filming were important to check where and when we were allowed to film. But it isn't too different to England, where we can film in the public. We just need consent of the subjects that we use, but we can't really film on private property without permission. Global experience. I've been affected on our trip to Lisbon. The influence on my work is evident. Meeting many creatives from all over, and it's even shocking. I was unaware of the discrimination to black people within the country, and it was after a videographer creative with dreadlocks, he told me the struggle of getting a conventional job just because of his hair. His dreadlocks stopped him from getting the job. It made me want to explore this issue further. Maybe in the future I might go into more detail with it. Every single person that we've spoken to, I now have on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, is making it convenient for us to have any interactions in the future. Due to the fact that we had release forms ensuring that the participants had given consent, all their details were now on a sheet, forming it to be easier for us to contact them in the future if we ever need them. I even had conversations with other artists about collaborating, so when they come to England, we can maybe work on a project. And then this is amazing because then we can keep building on contacts. If I go to another country next time, I can meet more people, and then it just makes it much easier to be a professional. The idea was to portray a film with the words of real people. We had a structure, but we weren't afraid to go with the flow, because we wanted that sense of realism. We needed the people to almost take control and speak their truth. Artists like Banksy mix political aspects with their beautiful paintings on public buildings, being able to express their true thoughts in their own way. That's why we were excited to talk to the street artist John Douglas. We found him on Instagram beforehand, but we hadn't been able to get contact with him. But we knew where his shop was set up, so we went over. He creates art that connects with his ancestry history, like with Red Indians, because he's from Brazil. Every drawing is different. Freedom is what he feels when he paints, and it's just inspiring to us. But yeah, we thought that he might inspire others as well. Overall, we delivered our aims for this project. Visually, it's beautiful. We met various characters and made friends, but also collaboration partners. I just wished I had managed my time better when it came to this and other modules, because the film could have been edited better. We also were trying to stick to the brief with the 6-minute time limit, meaning that we had to cut a lot of interesting people that we had met. However, a longer version was made that we submitted to film festivals. This experience is inevitably an experience I would like to go through again. A different country, but transferring all the skills and knowledge gained, constructing a project that I'll be even more proud of.